In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make it follow any player in the game. So let's get straight into it. It says Home, Model, Avatar, UI, Script, and Plugins. We click Avatar, and then we click Character right here, and then we have rig type. I'm going to do R15. I think you can do R6 too. Body shape, I'm going to do masculine, and we're going to do a block avatar. But before we get started, I'm going to publish my game. I'm going to publish it to Roblox. I'm basically going to make sure that everybody in the game has an R6 avatar. So I publish the game. Yeah, so if you go to avatar settings, yeah, so you just go to these three little dots right here. I'm going to do an R6 avatar. Now let's officially get started. So the first thing you want to do is click your rig and add a script. And I'm going to call this the handler. But first we need to get the rig itself. It's going to be local rig is equal to script.parent. And this makes sense because this is the script itself and the parent of the script is the rig. Alright, so now we just have to set a function. And this function is going to get the nearest player. The player that is going to be nearest to the NPC, or in this case it's called a rig. So now we just have to do is set a few variables. So we can do local nearest is equal to nil. This will store the character of the closest player found. Alright, now we can set another variable, and this time it's going to be the shortest. And we're going to do math.huge. Math.huge is infinity, and it ensures that the first player checked will always be closer than the starting value. Alright, now we have to actually make the system itself. So look at this carefully, I'll explain. So for underscore comma p in pairs, game dot players colon get players do. This will basically get all the players. So you see, this is a player, ScriptedOcean, and whenever you join the game, it creates a character in your game called ScriptedOcean. So if p.character and p.character colon find first child humanoid root part, then so basically we're going to be checking if the player's character exists and the player's humanoid root part exists too. Then now let's find the distance. The distance between the rig's humanoid root part dot position minus the player's humanoid root part dot position dot magnitude. Alright, so now that we've set up the distance, now if the distance is shorter than the shortest, and the shortest is equal to the distance, we update the shortest to the distance of this player. This way, the next players we check must be even closer to replace it. Alright, so now we just have to do nearest is equal to p.character. The last line we do right here is return nearest. And so this returns the character of the nearest player. If no valid player is found, this variable right here we set to nil will remain nil. Alright. Right now, the rig does not follow us. Why? Well, that's because even though we've set up the system, we haven't actually called the system to make the rig actually follow our character. So now let's go and do that. We go back into our handler script, and we just have to define one more variable. Local player is equal to get nearest player. So we have this function right here, right? So we set it up and we had all this code right here. And now we're setting up a variable of the player. So now we know that the player is equal to get nearest player. All right. So it's actually pretty similar to the code that we did in my previous video, which was how to make an NPC follow you in Roblox Studio. So now let's do while, wait, and now we can do 0.01 seconds, do rig colon find first child humanoid dot walk 2 point is equal to player dot primary part dot position. So we're basically calling the humanoid to walk to the player's primary part, and the player's primary part is always going to be the humanoid root part. Well, not always, but well, that's just how Roblox makes it. Alright, so now we can add another line, and this time it's going to be if player colon find first child humanoid dot health is equal to 0, then so basically this line is saying that if the player is dead, we'll create a new variable for the respawn player. So local player 2 is equal to get nearest player, or in this case we can just do it equals player, and the rig colon find first child humanoid dot walk 2 point is equal to player 2 dot primary part dot position. Wait, actually it probably should just be, yeah, so basically now the respawn player is going to be able to be followed by the rig. Alright, now our last line of code is just player is equal to player 2. So if they die a third time, they will be able to be followed too. Alright, now let's test it out. So this is how it works. Look at this. And even if I die, say I die, then I'll continue following the nearest player that is there. And maybe we can even test with multiple servers. So we can do servers and clients, and we can put up 2 players. Look at this. So since player 2 is the nearest player, I'm not getting followed. But if player 2 were to die, the player 2 will not respawn fast enough to continue following player 2. So yeah, that's kind of how it works. And if you have any questions, and you can just ask me in the comment section below.